Hi, I'm EAC Chairman Donald Palmer. Each year, the EAC holds a National Clearinghouse Awards, also known as the Clearie Awards, to recognize best practices in election administration. This year, the EAC Commission is interviewing some of the 2020 Clearie winners to further highlight the best practices and get a better understanding of the technology, initiatives, and hard work that won the Clearie Awards. So today, I'm pleased to speak with Derek Bowens, Director of Elections for the Durham County Board of Elections in North Carolina. The Durham County Board of Elections won a 2020 Clearie for outstanding innovation in elections for their early voting wait time tracker. Early voting wait time tracker. Congratulations, Mr. Bowens, and thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you, Chairman Palmer. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Really good to have you. To start, could you give us a brief overview of the early voting wait time tracker that you used in 2020? I just going through the materials, some great things about giving voters wait times, where to vote, the directions, real-time updates. Could you tell us a little bit about this tracker?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again for the recognition. I'm always excited to hear from the EAC and work with the EAC. So for the 2020 general election, obviously there was a lot of challenges. COVID-19 plus expected record turnout by nature of presidential elections, as you know. So we began to strategize with our city county GIS department on how we could use applications or leverage applications to mitigate or ease any negative experiences of voters to the extent we could. So we began to plan and look at some tools that were available through our GIS department, and we found Esri, or ArcGIS online tool, that had several suites of election-related tools that could be used. And so what we opted to go with was an early voting locator tool where we were able to incorporate wait time. So they put it together on their end, customized it for our office's needs. And of course, it was a no cost to us because it was a joint city county venture. Took about a month or so to get it down to where we wanted it to be so that it would be deployment ready. And it worked out great. Our community really loved it, and it reduced some wait times for sure.
So go ahead and show us a little bit of how that process worked inside the polling place, how that information would go from the polling place, an early voting polling place, to the public. How would that work, and how would that information be provided to those voters?
Sure. I'll share my screen and show you how that works from the poll worker side to it being distributed out to the public.
Great.
All right, so this screen here, I don't know if you can see this. This is where our poll workers would go on their cell phones to enter in the time, the wait time for the site that they're working at. So in this example, we'll say it's the Durham County Main Library, which is one of our sites for the 2020 general election. What they're going to do is click report wait time. And then from there, a survey 123 will pop up where they'll enter the wait time at the site. In this case, we'll say 30 minutes, and then they'd submit that. Now, the process prior to this is the poll worker distributes a card to a voter in line if they're willing to hold that. They start a timer on their iPhones. And once the voter moves to the check-in station, they stop that timer, and that's the time that's calculated into the submission portal. So once they submit that time, the public will see the site locator tool, which will be on our website. It's actually embedded on our website. I'm showing you the web view currently. They'll go and look up their address. In this case, I'll use the Durham County Board of Elections office. And it will pull up that location. Of course, you can also change the aerial view to see actual buildings, but it works a little bit better if you have this view as opposed to the more detailed view. It then will list out the sites and their distance in relation to the location you've entered. And you can also expand that out to the maximum mileage if you want to see all sites in the view. In this case, we entered times for the Durham County Main Library, so I'll go to that site specifically. And you'll see it has the 30-minute entry there by the site. And typically it's not working currently because we got some functions turned off because we're not in the election anymore. It would have a big 30-minute wait time number there where you see the image of the site, the schedule, and information about the location. In addition, you can click here to get directions that'll take you directly to a Google Maps where it'll show from your location to the site, the distance and the route. And also up here at the top, we have a bus stop locator where folks can enter in an address and actually see bus routes nearest them. And I'll just briefly pull this in as this was a very useful tool as well. Moving a little slow, but if you see here, it shows bus routes that are close in relation to that facility. So if they click on it, it'll give them the route number and then go straight to our Go Durham trip planner. And it'll show them what route is available and how they can get to that closest site. So in a nutshell, that's how it works.
So if you're a voter and it's the early voting period, which North Carolina has, and you want to see, you got 4 different sites. How many sites did Durham County have?
We had 14 for the 2020 general election in total.
So you could pick and choose based on the wait times where you wanted to go vote, which early voting site made the most sense. So if one had a wait time of 45 minutes, you could go online and see that there's really no wait time at this other early voting site, and you could get directions to that site. So it gives options to voters. Is that generally how it works?
Absolutely. You can go to any site they want. And that's the idea behind it, is if you see sites that are in close proximity or even not so, and they have a significantly lower wait time or no wait time, we really pushed voters to go to those, what we call typically underutilized locations. And it worked very well.
Well, obviously early voting was very popular in North Carolina. I think I read a statistic where almost 50% of the voters voted early. And how many use this process if you're able to track that?
We are actually able to track that. I don't have the total numbers, but I can say in the first week of early voting, we had over 93,000 clicks on the application. Those certainly aren't unique clicks, but we had a lot of use of the application. Another great thing that we were able to glean from it post-election is all of the entries that our precinct officials entered, which allows us to take that data and to better utilize resources at certain sites or consider new sites where we see heavier wait times.
So, obviously, congratulations on the award. And I think that a lot of election administrators watching this might say, okay, so what do I need to make this work for me? What do I need to do? What challenges did I face in developing this technology? Because if you have early voting, and there's a potential, for whatever reason, voters sometimes attract to one site and they just leave all the others. They're not giving them much love. And it's like, how do we spread out the voters a little bit? How do we give them the information to make the right choice sometimes on where to vote? What information would you give election administrators on over what challenges you face and how you overcame them?
So I would say we know, and Chairman Palmer, that a lot of offices across the country are small. Elections can be underfunded, and going beyond the scope of what's statutorily required at times can be a challenge from a financial perspective. So fortunately for Durham County, they do support elections very well financially. But with that said, we can't do everything. So that's where you have to really leverage partners. For us, we have a good relationship with City County GIS. They were more than willing to support us in making voter experience as best it could be, considering the criticality of the election and the significant use of early voting in Durham County. In 2016 alone, it was almost 70% voted early and close to that for this past election. So we leveraged another department, and we found that because that was an enterprise-wide solution for them, for us, it would be free to utilize. So I would say that first, leverage what's there, see what's available. Two, keep it simple, the KISS method. For us, how could we take this and make it easy on our poll workers first to collect the data, and then for the public to receive it, to make the appropriate choice. For us, it was as simple as giving them a card saying, give it to a voter, start a timer on your phone, and then you report that number. And if you don't have time for that, give your best assessment. And of course, with voters, a lot of social media, those platforms are free. It seems like everybody's on Twitter nowadays. So we used a lot of Twitter. That really kicked it off. We loaded the day before and said our wait time dashboard is ready, and we got hundreds of shares. And the news media picked it up, and we got a story on it. So using social media really helped, and all of those avenues were free. So I would say, really try to leverage what your county or jurisdiction has available before you go and try to spend significant funds on enhancing voter experience.
So tell me a little bit about the feedback you got from the voters. I mean, I think it's very important, the feedback from the voters and the election staff that were, inside the early voting sites using the technology. What sort of feedback did you get?
Well, I can tell you, our traditional busier sites were very happy that voters were using the application, and they went to sites that were support sites that were nearby. So a lot of really positive feedback from our workers. They got a little irritated with us at times when we pushed them to, why are you delayed in putting in your wait time? So we required them to do it every 30 minutes here. But really good feedback. After the first day, once the app got out there, people really went to the other sites, and it was a nice equal distribution amongst our locations. The feedback from voters was just phenomenal. I mean, we got so much positive feedback on the Wait Time app and its use. And, it was an overall positive experience and implemented well.
Do you think one factor in the use of it might have been, obviously wait times is something that people don't want to wait in line too long. But also with COVID-19, I think generally people wanted to avoid too much congestion. And so you're looking for a way in and out in a safe and secure environment. Do you think that had something to do with sort of the increased use of the app, or just generally people want to avoid lines? What would you attribute it to?
I think a presidential election is obviously a big part of that, but I also think COVID certainly had a part to play in terms of people wanting to get in and out. I think a part of that, certainly for us, is we saw a big increase in curbside voting, and North Carolina made some additional relaxations to the law because of it. I think that even more enforced concern with COVID is the increase in curbside voting. So I do think use certainly was, I don't want to say expanded or fluffed because of COVID, but I'm certain it was a factor. But I think in many cases, for our community specifically, this is something that is expected and would be used in an environment where COVID-19 didn't have the impact that it currently does and did.
One quick question before we move on. Was this available to voters both on a laptop, but also on an app on their smartphone? Was it something that people could use on their smartphones, or is that a next step?
That's actually a next step. The way that it would work right now, if you wanted to, pull it on your phone, is you could do a shortcut and go directly to the dashboard. But from cell phones or from computers, you would just go to our website. And go to our early voting page, and it would be embedded on that site, or there would be a direct link to the ArcGIS web viewer, which you could, of course, add as a shortcut on your phone and utilize there. But we are hopefully working on some apps moving forward that contains all of our available tools to voters.
So one of the issues in the past, and I guess it is certainly a current issue, is wait times for voters, and we always try to mitigate that to the minimal amount of time that necessary. In responding to the media, I think that sometimes the facts are important, from the data that actually you get from your early voting sites. Did you find that this information was helpful to you in responding to media inquiries on wait times? So it was really basically the facts and not sort of speculation?
Absolutely. In addition to using this data, we also have some other data sets. We're able to see, how many voters voted per hour, which kind of plays well with the wait time data. We, to be honest, Mr. Chair, we did not have a lot of media attention by way of wait times outside of the first day. And that's typically expected. And once we did get some media attention about long lines on that first day, that's when the wait time app was pushed more by the media and also our community. So I think certainly having data available to provide the proof and what we're doing in regards to wait times and mitigating any negative voter experience certainly lends itself to mitigating any negative things that might be out there via media.
So do you plan on continuing to use this? I think you alluded to that. And where do you see this going in the future?
Absolutely. This is here to stay. I think a lot of our community members had an opportunity to use it and will be expecting it. One of the things that we would like to expand to, we thought about it for the general election, but we still have some reservations we need to work out, is there's a similar election day wait time tool where voters can use it to see wait times at their polling places. Some concerns about that because there's not as much flexibility. There's one day on election day, there's 17 here for early voting, so you can go another day. But we do plan to hopefully expand to that if we can work out the kinks. And other applications that we're currently using that we didn't submit to the EAC, but in this package is our Rover tool, our ticketing tool to respond to precincts is also through this same system. And we hope to also deploy a Durham County voter app. That's one of the things I'm working with our IT department on now, that hopefully we can utilize and everything be contained in one application. So looking forward to expanding the use of ArcGIS data moving forward to make experience the best we can.
So it sounds like making friends in the GIS department is pretty important to making this happen. Is that
yes?
Is that
yes.
your statement?
Yes.
And I guess that's the big takeaway from this. Election officials always working looking forward to the next election and the next technology. What's next for the Durham County Board of Elections? What are you looking at, either with this technology or something similar?
Well, COVID taught us a lot of lessons. It definitely taught us a lot of lessons in efficiency and how we can utilize technology to streamline processes. I know one of our major projects this year is a move to 100% online learning for our election officials. That is a big implementation for us and one we're excited about. Also, certainly continuing to find ways to build tools to make voter experience the best we can. And the biggest of which is continuing to use these apps, hopefully having a voter application that we can deploy. But yeah, I would say just overall efficiency, leveraging technology for internal controls, and also voter experience. Will continue to look around even at other jurisdictions to see what they're doing to make the experience for our voters here as best as it can be.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bowens, for joining us. Durham County, once again, Durham County won the 2020 Clearie for outstanding innovation for their early voting wait time tracker. Thank you for joining us and giving us all the details. We really appreciate all you're doing in Durham County. Thank you, and good luck in the future.
Yes, thank you so much, Chairman Palmer. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.